Hi, everybody, and welcome to ZTV Live. Today is Thursday, November 12th, 2020. I'm Susan Mulligan Fleischman. I'm so pleased that you've joined us tonight, and I'm super pleased to welcome my good friend Kathy Callahan, the author of 101 Rescue Puppies, One Family's Story of Fostering Dogs, Love, and Trust. And as you can see, the kind of hard to say, but the wonderful review up top, these are love stories, plain and simple, which they really are. And we're going to get to that book. It's available on Amazon, and also you can order it through Kathy's website. And without further ado, I am bringing on my wonderful guest, Kathy Callahan. Hi, Kathy. Welcome back to ZTV Live.
We're happy to be here again.
Yay!
Thanks
So
for having
Sure, of course. And this is not your first time here before. You were on once before talking about fostering, and that is pretty much what prompted the writing of this book, right?
kind of a one-trick pony. That's pretty much what I talk about.
You mean a one-trick puppy?
Right.
What was your initial impetus for writing the book?
So our family has taken in almost 200 puppies now over the last 8 years. And I promise we did not intend to do this. 8 years ago, we were a normal family. But we had lost one of our dogs. She died. And you know how that is? It's just sad. Your house feels a little empty. So somebody suggested fostering. So we were like, we could do that. So we took in two puppies, and that was 184 puppies ago. So what happened is we found out how amazing this experience is. And, we did it in the beginning just for the puppies. We wanted the puppy joy in there. And that for sure is an amazing thing, to just have puppies at your disposal all day long, all the time. But all sorts of other wonderful things have happened too. There's just a lot. This fostering puts you kind of in the middle of a little circle of good that is wonderful. So it ended up feeling like it was too much to keep to myself, so I started wanting to capture it. And so I did not intend to foster puppies. I didn't intend to write a book, but here we are.
Yep. Well, I mean, the book is so engaging and so captivating, and your photography really sells it. Just the cover shot alone is really, and that's mulberry, right?
That's mulberry. I've got some great material. Here's the thing. I've got some great material, and I've got a heck of a lot of time. So I sit and I hang out with these puppies with my camera, and you do that and you get some amazing shots.
Yeah.
One of the things that I talk about in the book, just briefly, is that the longer they're here, the better the shots get, because a lot of that is about trust. And, so they come into our house, and, who knows what they've been through, there's been some risk at some point. Anyway, they get to our house and they start to settle into the good here. And pretty soon they are gazing at you in this relaxed, confident way. And that's how you get these shots.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I never thought about that before, but of course, and you're the lady and you have the camera. You're the one who calls them to come all the time. And so they're like, what do you want me to do? I'll do anything for you, right?
Right. I mean, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's a good ego boost to
Yeah.
foster puppies. Feeling bad about yourself? Take in some puppies.
That's so funny. Well, I'm going to show a quick little video. It's only a little 20-second video, but it's of Mulberry and his litter, kind of showing exactly what you're talking about. Of that, and I think that you call it. I don't know if it's called recall, but when they kind of come.
It's recall. If you say, well, I don't know if I call him in that video, but if you say, come, 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 and they come, that's called.
Yeah. I actually, watching your videos, I've started to do that with Penny, and she's just like, "Oh, what? That sounds great. Let me come."
I think people used to teach that on my first dog, they taught me to say, come. Who wants to come to that? So if you say one way, they'll come. So.
Oh my God, that's great. Okay, here's a quick little snack of that little litter.
You're so good. Yes, you are. You are so good. Hi, what you doing, Aspen? Hi, Mulberry. Coming over? Hi. Hi, come on, Aspen.
You're right. It wasn't really the recall. You didn't call them, but you just started talking, and they were like, "Oh, there she is. There she is."
sometimes actually it makes it hard to take pictures because you get down, as soon as you get down with them with your camera, they just come running at you. So they might have been doing something cute and then you blow it because they're like, there she is, and they run. So
Wow. Well, that is so I know that okay, we'll do full disclosure here. I've been in on the writing of your book since the beginning. We're in a writing group together, and we have been for 4 years.
4 years, I think 2016.
Yeah, so
spring of 2016.
that's right. So about 4.5 years, and we were writing all sorts of. We have a wonderful group of women in our writing group, and I was doing some column writing. We have a playwriter in the group. We have a beautiful poet in the group. Somebody was working on a novel, and Kathy was bringing all these beautiful stories. And I just remember sitting and reading them, and we were all like, you should put these in a book."
This is the thing. This would not be a book if it weren't for this writing group. And this is one of those things that, you know, it's lovely to have a bunch of women together giving each other confidence. And I never would have thought. I mean, I knew that people followed this with interest on Facebook. And I certainly was overposting on Facebook and Instagram to get homes for these puppies. But I didn't really realize how this journey, this story is, you know, it just strikes people, you know, that it's everyone wants to hear this. Puppies and dogs coming from an at-risk place, getting into a safe place, and heading on to their future wonderful home. Everyone loves that story. So I didn't realize until I started posting that it wasn't just me, because all sorts of people would be writing in. You know, my husband's coworker's aunt would send me notes about how, you know, when I feel sad, I go to your Facebook page. And that was the first inkling that I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not me.
Yeah, I must be onto something here.
And then at the writing group, I remember the first draft of this. And again, I was writing this because I needed to submit something. You know, we had to submit something.
Like, crap, we're meeting next week. I have nothing.
I'll talk about puppies. I mean, really. So in the beginning, though, it was more truly photography oriented. Mm-hmm. And then I just had little tiny bits. And you guys were the ones who were like, you had questions. You're like, wait, where was this one from? Wait, what happened? Wasn't there? And you guys are the ones, you were like, wait, wasn't this when Grace just first started off to college? Talk about that. I want to hear about that. And you guys are the ones that really turned it into more. It's a book about everything now. It's not just about fostering. It's a book about our lives, you know, and what happens and how we connect and how we connect with each other, how we connect with strangers. And the writing group is really, you guys helped me pull that part out of the fostering and have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it is great. And the stories go so far beyond, which is, I think, why we were always clamoring for more, because you introduce the characters and you have such a respect for each individual personality. And that is something that I don't think a lot of people often pay attention to. You know, you see a litter of puppies, they see one thing, and you saw 8 personalities. And you really were able to, and that's a gift, I think, that you just were able to really get to know them very quickly and very intimately. And your writing is so engaging. And I think that that's what draws you in and wants you to keep reading more. So were you a writer, you know, as a child? Did you like to write? Did you keep diaries or journals? Did you write stories?
Yes, I did keep journals, and boy, have those been thrown away. So like all good people, you read them when you're grown up and you're like, wow, that's horrifying. So yes, I have always written. And then I was in PR and magazine publishing, so I definitely have a background in writing and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I did a bunch of freelance and stuff, but you know, didn't think of myself as a writer. Really, like, I enjoyed writing, but I just didn't think of myself as a writer. I mean, maybe I fantasized that I could be a writer, but I didn't really think about that until, you know, maybe 5 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, exactly. I was the same way. And, you know, oh, it'd be great to be a writer. And then I was always like, well, writers write, and I'm not really writing.
No, exactly. Writers write. And it's almost writers are compelled to write. And that is what I hadn't been before. Mm-hmm. And now I am compelled to write. That's what happened with this stuff, is that I was compelled to write these stories. Like, I couldn't not write them. And I was writing them, and I kind of thought they would just end up I thought I was writing them so that we'd have 3 copies, one for me and Tom, one for Grace, and one for Claire. And then I would take it to Staples on the little hard drive, and print it out there with a little laminated cover, because I just wanted to save them. I did hope that other people could share in it, because the fostering stuff brings me so much joy. And the idea that now this book can bring other people that joy makes me crazy happy, just crazy happy. Because it is uplifting. These stories are uplifting, and that's how it has felt to us. And I would love for other people to feel even a smidgen of that through this writing. But anyway, I did feel compelled. And that's what I always thought about writers before, is that just like you said, writers write. And I wasn't writing until I had something to say.
Right. Yeah, it's so much easier to write when you're feeling that compelling, that here, I got to get it out, and I got to get it out now, It's almost a luxury. It's almost a luxury to have that, On the stories, let's talk about a couple of my favorites. I'm sure that I know that they're probably all your favorites, but one of the most endearing stories has to be General, and that you always kind of in your mind. I mean, and he's the one who alerted you when those other puppies were in danger. And that must have not surprised you, not one bit.
So cute. So that was our Chinese takeout litter. So it is fun to name these litters. I don't always get to name them, but if we get them early enough, then our family gets to name them. So they are named after Chinese takeout. So they are wonton, egg roll, such. So General So, I think that's how you pronounce it. General So, chicken.
Yes, I think so. Mm-hmm.
So the General always seemed to be the leader of that group. He was more mature. We'd come downstairs. He would be the first one who's alert, and he's paying attention and kind of solemn and checking out what's up.
How funny that you named him General. I mean, it's so funny how people rise to their names.
I think we named them that first day, and that was already apparent that first day, and I think that's why we did name him that. So when I do foster a litter, I am mostly with them all the time, but every now and then I dash inside to do something, or I dash upstairs and do something, and then I come back. So this was a day that they were romping around in the yard. I could see them. I had windows and stuff, and I was working on my computer for a second, and then the General comes running up. We have this glass door, and the General comes running up and stands up, stares at me like, what? And I kind of open the door. It's unusual, and I open the door, and he doesn't want to come in. And he's running away. I was like, what is this? So I follow him, and I don't see anyone else. I'm like, what?
Jeez, no kidding.
He runs all the way around the corner of the house to the window well, where 2 little puppies, I think it was Mushu, not Mushi and somebody else, down in the window well. And, it's not tragic. They're not going to, I would have found them. But he was he knew I was the one he should come to, and he ran and he got me on their behalf. So he ended up getting placed with a wonderful local family, and this mom had 4 boys under age 7. And sometimes when that happens and people tell me that they want a puppy, I'm like, I do not think you want a puppy.
Right. Let me show you this 10-year-old dog.
Yeah, exactly. An old fat lab. This is what you want. Right. Sturdy old fat lab. But she came back again and again, and I saw how she was with her boys and with how her boys were with the dogs. And I thought, oh my God, actually, you can totally do this. So, and then it was a matter of figuring out what the right fit was for her with this litter. And for sure, it was the General who could oversee that pack. And anyway, that is fun. Having the matches show up and finding out that you're wrong is actually really fun. That's almost one of the most fun things, is that you kind of think you know stuff, and then actually something else turns out to be right. It's fun.
That overall theme of thinking one thing and then something else happens, that struck me even more so, I think, because I had read the stories obviously all the way through, and I ordered the book, of course, and I got the book, and I just started looking through it one night, and I ended up reading it cover to cover again. But what struck me on reading it in the book, and I don't know, I kind of had the feeling in the stories as I was reading them separately, but was this overall theme of destiny and what will be, and don't worry about it, because things have a way of working themselves out, even if it doesn't seem like the one woman or the one dog, I should say, that you were thinking like the dog was great at your house because there was a ton of people around, and two women were like, I don't want this dog, because the dog was a problem. You must have been just so surprised.
Right. And that's the thing. And that's, you just remember you don't know anything. And that is a weirdly calming thing. If you think you know everything, then the weight of all that is on you. Then it's your job to figure everything out. And what I've learned through this is I just need to do my little part. I need to do the best I can at my little part, and the stuff is going to work out. And every now and then there's a little bit of a, just a little wave that's a little scary. But in the end, it's going to work out if if our family basically just keeps our eye on the thing in front of us that we can help.
Right.
Then the rest of it is going to eventually work out. And I'm not I don't think like everything happens for a reason and everything's all perfectly, but I still can't deny that over and over again, it just seems like the universe has my back on these puppies, and that things come together. And this is the thing, you do see the best in people. Like it works out because people step up.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing. It's a very reassuring thing to see in 2020.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it ends up being a very calming thing to do, to be involved in this work, weirdly. And a lot of people who are in rescue, a lot of people who think about rescue from the outside, it seems like it's going to be really sad, and there's going to be a lot of horror stories and all that kind of stuff. And there is sad in there. But my goodness, the ratio, at least in my corner, is fantastic. So for every little one sad thing that happens, there are like 25 people who have stepped up, and other animals who have stepped up to help ease the way here. So that just feels good.
Yeah, that does feel good. And you're meeting so many people. I mean, all these wonderful families who are stepping forward. And I think you've placed, in my neighborhood alone, at least 50 puppies, I think. I don't know what the number is, but there's quite a few.
Puppy map in my kitchen and of our zip code, and I have the little dot. So puppy map.
There's a lot around ours. I will say, switching gears just slightly, another one of my very favorite stories in the book has to do with the boy who was very reticent of looking at the puppies. And you notice that right away because so many children come and they're all over the puppies and they're picking them up and they're just, they're just not really paying attention, not listening to anybody. But this one boy was not really into looking at the puppies, and he really caught your attention.
Yep. It's so dramatic because I'm used to have kids' reactions to puppies. I'm used to what that's like. They come in, they can't not touch the puppies, and it's actually kind of a problem we have to talk about.
Right.
So I'm used to what that's like. And then this boy was so, he was playing on the swings and he was going to the trampoline. It was like he was avoiding the puppy, but his mom had been the one who, obviously arranged this meeting, came, and she was all over the puppy and stuff. And so we just kind of sat out in the yard and hung out for a while. And often, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. It's just our house, and these are just people coming over. So we chat, and sometimes things become clear as you're sitting around. And so I was just chatting with his mom, and all of a sudden he said, "I'm worried about my cat." And I thought, oh, you dear boy, because so many kids come here. And, I know they've got some nice pet at home who the minute they take this puppy home, they're not even going to think about that pet anymore. It's the shiny new thing. And I always feel sorry for the pet in existence because, that's hard adjustment. This boy was like, well, I don't know. And that is the correct approach. Your first job, your first obligation is to the pet in your home, and you do want to make sure it's going to work out okay. So happily, that particular dog was best friends with our cat, and they wrestled and they played. They loved each other. And so once I was able to really show him that, and I showed him the videos and the pictures and stuff, he was done.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so heartwarming. Hey, speaking of a dog and a cat, I'm going to show just a couple of seconds of a video because you had a little canoodling duo, I believe. Let me just show just a couple seconds of it, and I'll come back in 1 second. It's very short, and there's not really any sound in the video at all because it's just the two of them in a film noir setting, almost in this romantic, and they're just like, what, leave us alone, we're here, we're fine.
Right. And it's just, when you grow up and you read books like dogs and cats are supposed to be enemies, right? Well, not at our house. So it is just delicious to watch that happen. That's Bo. I couldn't see that video. That's the one. It's Bo with
Bo
the
and
white
Timmy.
So they truly bonded. Timmy was at our house for maybe 12 weeks. And so that was a long time. And they were absolutely friends. They would do that all the time. They would just do that all the time. And there's something about, it's cool enough. Part of the fun at our house is watching our resident dogs just grab these fosters and tell them it's all good, you're good. But it's another level entirely to watch the cats do that.
Sure.
And so there's something just cool about interspecies communication. Like it's fascinating to watch that. You just can't help. It just makes you feel. It's just exciting to watch that bridge crossed and to see both sides super interested in that and finding friendship. It's just it's delicious. It really is.
No, it is. It is. That is super sweet. And I remember there's more intimate cuddling between the two of them. So that really was just darling. Sometimes you get a puppy, and so you're getting these foster litters, and so there's 6, 7, 8 puppies, and so a lot of them are getting along beautifully. But I'm leading up to the video of that little puppy that had colic, and his tummy was hurting because they're going from drinking milk to starting to eat cereal, and some of them can kind of handle it better than others, right?
That's exactly right. And it's just it's a transition. And so you introduce kind of a mush, and some of them do better than others. And every now and then, I've probably had about 4 of them who it seems like colic. They eat and then they just can't settle. They just can't settle. So what I have discovered is that if you pick them up just like a baby and you turn them on their back and you swing them just like a baby, then they just relax, like they've been crying. Like the cries just kill me. And then you can pick them up, and if you do it right, then they become super heavy in your hands, and they're like, oh, thank God. And then if you just do that for like 10 minutes, then they're fine.
Well, and you can see this is at the end. I'm just going to show a quick video of you soothing one of these puppies. And anybody who's watching this, if you can't hear it right away, turn it up, because you can absolutely hear this puppy just kind of squeak his way back into feeling better.
What's the matter? There you go. You're okay. Ollie's a good boy.
Oh, and you can see Nala in the background going, you got that?
Right. Alex is kind of over it by that point. So
that's
now is one of our foster fails. So people always ask, how do you possibly give them up? And so twice we have not given them up. And each time it's been a mom. When I co-parent with these guys, it's hard for me to give them up. So Nala was our first nursing mom, and then Mojo is our other keeper of out of all these dogs.
Right. Mojo, I think, was just sent to you, divine intervention, honestly. She's such a Callahan dog. Another thought I had when I was reading your beautiful book was that the subhead, so it's called 101 Rescue Puppies, and it's trying to kind of sum up what it's about, because people would be like, what does that mean? One family's story of fostering dogs, love, and trust, and you're fostering that in the dogs, but strangely enough, it got fostered in you as well, right? I mean, it's and which helped you handle the unknown destiny part of what happens to these pups that you take such good care of.
That's exactly right. And that's just like what we talked about a little bit before about that, just feeling like it's not all on my shoulders. Right. That this everyday evidence that it's really going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. And that's the trust part, right? You had the dogs down in the love, and it's
and it just makes you kind of trust the universe, that you just need to do your little part. step forward, step toward your path, and the rest is going to come. And all we did was take a little step towards some two furry little puppies, and so much has come from that. I just feel like I'm where I'm really supposed to be, and that's an extraordinary thing. And I wouldn't have known that without these puppies.
Right.
This it's just this tiny little concrete evidence packages in these little packages. So.
Well, we're just about almost out of time, but I do want to show some of the. I just can't. I can't recommend the book enough, and it's just full of these charming photographs on every page. And let's go through some of these photographs while you and I are just sitting here talking. The first one is that lump of pups, and I do believe that these are the. This is the Chinese litter, right?
I think it might be, if it's is it on a blue background?
Yeah, it's on the blue blanket. Mm-hmm.
That Coverboy mulberries litter.
Oh,
that
my
is
gosh.
Mulberry, hickory, aspen, birch.
Right.
So those guys, they're 2 weeks there. That was the earliest, that was the youngest litter I'd ever had at that point.
Up to that point, that's right. And then, of course, we have Mac Jarvis looking like a little pinup boy.
Absolutely. Highly unusual for me to get such a doodle-looking dog.
Yeah, he's just so photogenic. It's such a great picture of him too. And then,
and he was sick. He had pneumonia. He was a scary story, but he's obviously fantastic now.
Oh, that's good. Yes, he is. And then we have Nala kind of sternly looking at a pup, and the pup is going, okay.
Nala is hilarious because she's such a sweetheart, but with the puppies, they toddle after her, and then she's like not taking any
right,
guff.
That's right, like any good old middle-aged woman.
Exactly.
And then you have that puppy stretched out on his back, leaning against Eli there. That is so cute.
That's what they all want.
Yeah,
they all just want to be a puppy.
That's right. Oh, and then this one, oh my gosh, the puppy dog eyes of that one puppy with the little daffodil in the background.
I am thinking that is he black?
No,
black?
He's brown with white down his.
That's dogwood.
Okay.
That's dogwood. So that's a family that was from West Virginia. That was when we had a dad. We usually don't have a dad, but we had a whole complete family: mom, dad, and 5 kids.
That's right. That was amazing. You have such a wonderful way. The book is totally engaging, thoroughly enjoyable. I really can't recommend it enough. It's a beautiful read. It restores your faith in humanity and in the universe. And it's available on Amazon.com, on Barnes & Noble, I believe Indie Books as well. And people can... And Old Town Books. Oh, fantastic. And then people can also go onto your website. Oh, let me put that back up here, which is puppypics.com. So yep. I recommend everybody to, run out. It makes a beautiful gift for anybody on your gift list, young and old. These are really timeless stories for anybody who likes to read or who likes dogs, and that covers a lot of people.
I keep thinking that I feel sorry for teachers right now. I keep thinking this would be a cheer up gift for teachers.
That's such a great idea.
Anyway, hopefully it's a book that will make you feel good.
Yes, it absolutely will. I concur. Kathy Callahan, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time and your beautiful gift. Thank you for sharing it with us of the writing and the photographs and all the stories. We are getting a lot of love here from people. My sister Eileen said, "Love this so much." She bought 3 of them, and Kathy is the puppy whisperer. Marilyn Kopash, thank you, Marilyn, for watching and for tuning in. What a fun show! Thank you so much. Mary Wadlin said it's great. Cindy Martin said, "Trust the dogs." The quote by Tom Callahan.
That's right.
So he should know.
Thanks for having me on. I so appreciate it, and thank you for all the fun community stuff you're doing here at ZTV. It is so fun to see all this stuff all the time. Just warm, happy stuff about our community.
Yeah,
it's nice.
it's fantastic. I think the Zebra Press is fantastic. Mary Wadlin is our publisher, and she really had a very specific vision 10 years ago, and she's realized it and is growing it, as we speak, and we're always expanding it. And so we are just really, happy to be here. I feel like I just landed where I was supposed to be,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Totally.
I agree. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Anyway, thank you so much, and we will we'll bring it back when your next book comes out.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Okay. Well,
Thanks
thank
for
you so much, Kathy. Sure. Okay. Now, where am I? Let me get back up to my. Here we go. Okay, that's going to do it. I did want to say for puppypics.com, Kathy's website is chock full of information, and also there are pictures on there, and there's lots of wonderful resources for training videos. If you want to maybe try some new training tricks out for your dog, she has a wonderful article in the November Zebra issue and the paper issue that's out on newsstands now, how to spin your way to a happier dog. So please pick up a copy of the Zebra and read Kathy's articles. She's a frequent contributor, and we're always so grateful for her contributions. That is gonna do it for tonight. It's gonna wrap up ZTV. I did want to put a little plug in that this weekend on Saturday is the Delray Vintage and Flea Market up on Bellefonte and Mount Vernon Avenues in Delray, and please go up there if you have any items that you were wondering. There's we work with Monica Schiavo. She's an appraiser, and she is the host of our show Trash or Treasure, which is an antiques roadshow style show. So if you have anything that you want appraised, wondering how much it is, certainly any culinary related items as Thanksgiving and the holidays are coming up, something that you've had that your grandmother gave you, you've always wondered, is this really worth anything? Bring it to the booth on Saturday for a free appraisal at the Delray Vintage and Flea Market, and we'll be there, and you just might make it on the show. We're going to have a special Thanksgiving edition that will air on Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving. I think that's November 25th. It's the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving when everybody's making their pies and doing everything else. So, okay, well, that will really do it for ZTV Live tonight. Thank you so much for viewing. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for chiming in and listening and supporting us. We just appreciate it so much. That'll do it for tonight from the Zebra Press. Remember to be kind and to be the good news in someone's life.